What is going on, everybody? It's good to be back. It's good to see you all back. Well, I'm sure people will come on in because Restream was being a little bit temperamental. I don't know why. Some weeks it'll just go ahead and post the video to YouTube when I schedule it, and others, like tonight, it just does the thing where it lets me schedule the video, but it doesn't show up in my live feed. I got to get that figured out. But yeah, if you're coming on in, welcome on into 0 Hour, your 1 hour weekly show where I go over everything that's going on in the wide world of Transformers, news, discussions, and more. I'm your host, Extra Zero. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. I did miss last week. I just had to take a night off. It was a slow news week, and I just had so much going on to get ready for the Thanksgiving holiday. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. If you're coming on in, let me know. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? Did you spend any time with friends and family? Did you happen to get any Black Friday or Cyber Monday deals? Let me know. I didn't, actually. I didn't get anything for me. I got a lot of Christmas shopping done. And actually, I think the only shopping I have left to do is I have two very close friends we do small gift exchanges for. I got to order the books that I picked out for them. I'm just waiting for the prices to go a little bit lower. Also, I have like a couple things left to get for my wife. But otherwise, here we are, early December, and I'm pretty much done and wrapping gifts. And it's nice. It's real nice. It also hit me like it's been a month since TFCon. It's been, I can't believe how fast time flew by. I had Raziel on the last show, and we reminisced a bit about that time. And we're gonna have some TFCon news to talk about because there's some cool stuff happening with TFCon for next year. I'm probably not going to be able to go to either of the US-based ones or Toronto. Toronto just never really works out because it's about like when we take our family vacation. That and going into Toronto is its own logistic thing. But Chicago. They haven't announced much, but LA's getting pretty stacked up with guests. So looking forward to seeing how that all plays out. But it's been a pretty all right week for me. Had a good Thanksgiving, actually a great Thanksgiving. Spending time with people, my wife's family, they put together a really nice big Italian Thanksgiving. So we do the traditional stuff and we do a lot of pasta, and I just called it a cheat day. I went hog wild. It was great. And then just kind of relaxed, chilled out. I've been on a survival horror kick. So I plowed through Resident Evil 2, the remake, for the second time. I hadn't played it since 2019 when it came out. And I was talking to my wife about it. I was like, after playing Silent Hill 2, which Silent Hill 2 is one of the best games of the year, period. Like, if you like survival horror, if you're a fan of the franchise, do not miss out on Silent Hill 2 because it's better than the original. And yes, I'm not a gaming podcast, but I do gaming content. Before we get into my figure of the week, I want to do some shout outs to some folks. And first and foremost, I didn't put any. I know I said I was going to do content on the channel. I apologize to everybody, but I just lost track of time and had stuff come up with the holiday. I've got stuff cooking. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but Lance and I, we have planned out the next Energon ranking. Well, I'm sorry, the next Unicron trilogy ranking, and we're going to tackle Energon. I think we're targeting the 21st, which is a Saturday. So we'll be doing that video. We'll be doing it live like we did last time. So the chat will get to be part of it when we have our discussions. I think Energon's going to be a bit more heated. So we're going to have a little, beyond the scavenger and sideswipe being the bottom of the barrel. So let me give a couple shout outs here. So I do gaming content. I'm part of Gronkin Gaming. If you're not subscribed over there, they're in my link tree. But I'm also an editor for my buddy Mazza. So Mazza, shout out to him. He just got monetized. So he just hit his 500 subs. He's got his watch time in. And I did this funny moments video from Black Ops 6 Zombies where it's him, Lethal Lightning, the Cream NATO, and Raging Rhino all going at it. There's some memes in here. It's a really fun watch. So check his link in my link tree to get to his channel and give that video a watch. It's actually doing pretty good. Got 128 views in a day. Let's try and get it up to 500 views by the end of the week because I put a lot of work into it. He put a lot of work into it. Streaming, it was originally a 5-hour long stream, and we cut down 20 minutes of the funniest moments. I think it turned out really good. Next up, my buddy Patriot Prime Reviews. If you haven't checked out his channel already, please do so. He does really good content. Now, he says that, it's for nobody under the age of 13. He has that little disclaimer there, but he does really wholesome, really fun content, going through all kinds of stuff, new stuff, G1. He doesn't do too much of the Masterpiece stuff. Does a lot of toy hacks, upgrade kits, but just a really fun watch. And he just hit 20,000 subscribers. I will be on his channel in the near future. I'm not sure if we're going to do it by this month, get it in for 2024 or early 2025. But he does an interview series called The Sit Rap. And I will be on one of those future Sit Rep episodes, which are, kind of a get to know you YouTuber stream. I did one for Figure Action in the past. I'm going to do one for my channel here and just, kind of an update with him. So really looking forward to that. So let's go ahead and, before one more thing too, I got it up. Yeah, been getting a little festive here. Oh, I didn't share Patriot Prime's channel. Restream, man. All right, let me get Patriot Prime's channel up so you all can see. But give Patriot Prime a sub out there. Really good dude, really good content. And it's just, it's that sort of content you can put on and just chill out and relax. Mazza, he's very high energy. I don't want to say Patriot Prime's low energy, but his is just, you can put that on, you can chill out, relax, kick back. And, it's entertaining, but it's also a great thing to have on in the background. And lastly, I've been getting into the Christmas spirit. And I got my nerd tree up. So my wife and I, we have, believe it or not, we have 5 Christmas trees. We've got a Christmas tree for the dining room, which we dubbed the nerd tree, which we got all the fun ornaments on. You can see Bumblebee, Gizmo. There's multiple Optimus Primes there. We got the Dragon Balls, consoles. I won that Minion in thanks. We do a little white elephant ornament exchange. So I got the Minion. There's a little Pac-Man machine. So I've been getting in the Christmas spirit, and I posted that over on my Twitter. Go ahead and give me a follow at extra008 on Twitter or X if you're calling it that. I can't call it that. But let's go ahead and we'll say hi to the chat real quick. We got TF Hustler in here saying party time. Good to see you. We've got Princeton Phalanx coming in saying hello. Princeton, always a pleasure to see you. Tris coming in saying you aren't scared of Silent Hill 2 because you have to watch Mazza almost every day. Mazza doesn't know about those old school survival horror games either. I so desperately want him to play through the survival horror game, live stream it, no quitting. I want him to play through. Maybe that'll be the next putt challenge, right? Where I'm like, Maz, you play through some Silent Hill, start to finish, man, and we'll go ahead and we'll get you something. We got Boss Hog coming in saying, "Oh, you dog, good to see you, Boss Hog." We got my buddy Carl of the RNG podcast saying, "Smash that like that or leave a like." Nerds, good to see you in here, man. He sent me a Christmas card. I really appreciate that. I gotta get one his way. But before we get into the figure of the week, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and smash that like button because it helps me out in the algorithm, and I think the algorithms are going to be changing a bit in 2025. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button if I've earned it, and ring that notification bell because I do odd and random content that's unscheduled, and I have stuff I've been cooking. I just got to get it uploaded. It's been hectic with the holidays, but I've been editing that. The one with Mazza too, it was like 5 hours of footage to comb through, so that also put me back. But promised him I'd do that, and that's other work I got. So let's get into my figure of the week, and let's put them without further ado. So this week's figure of the week is a third-party figure. This comes from Fans Hobby. This is their, I believe this is Double Agent, but it's their take on a G1 double dealer. And this figure is really cool. It's done in the Masterpiece scale. It is, now the original double dealer was a triple changer. He turns into an armored, kind of like a missile carrier. He also turns into a buzzard and a robot. In addition to that, he has whether you want to call them Power Masters or, as the Japanese call them, Breast Masters. He has two of the, I'm just going to call them Power Masters because that's what I grew up with. He has a gun that has an LED in it that can combine up with the missile. And I kind of killed the lead on this. Fans Hobby actually made him a quadruple changer because the cool thing about Double Dealer, if you're not familiar, is he's a mercenary. So he's neither an Autobot or a Decepticon, depending on what continuity. If you're looking at the Japanese continuity, it depends on what Breastmaster he has. He had a good one and he had a bad one. I forget the name of the good one, but the bad one's name is Cancer. They literally named this guy Cancer in Japan. But what was cool was Fans Hobby gave him a unique Decepticon robot mode. So you can, the gist of it is, and it's a masterpiece, so forgive me for not being able to do it well on camera. I know I have so many reviewer friends who are probably laughing right now, but you can take his wings and unfurl them, and you can actually swap his head out. And this is their own pun intended headcanon here. And I got to take the other one out. Yeah. Praise to my reviewer friends because they make this all look so easy. But I'm floundering, but you can actually give him his own unique robot mode. But what's cool is the head tucks away. So you don't see it, and it doesn't really do anything to impact the accuracy, the overall accuracy of the figure. This guy came in two flavors. He had a toy deco and he had a toon deco, though it's debatable. I think that the toon deco really is more of the the G1 anime, which we didn't get over here. The Headmasters anime, which we really didn't get over here. No, not the Headmasters anime. I'm blanking on which one it was, but yeah, he appeared differently in the commercial, which he got. Sunbow Animation did a commercial with him in there, and he had a blue face, and in Japan he had a silver face. And the cool thing was, Fans Hobby had the site to include those options. I like the blue face because, again, he really wasn't in the cartoon. He's just in a commercial. He is technically in the cartoon. But, I and the cool thing is I kind of switch him. I can have him between the Autobots or Decepticons, depending on where, if I need to round out a shelf. But I think he was in Master Force, now that I think about it. But anyway, not to talk out of my ass about it because I don't want to lose any of my nerd cred, because truth be told, I don't know a lot about what came after G1 in Japan. It's been a long time since I watched the fan subs and fan dubs, and some of them were god awful. But cool figure nonetheless. I had the original Double Dealer as a kid. I also have the Earthrise one, which was a pretty good figure, although he had kind of stubby legs. But that's my figure of the week this week. And if you're watching me live or if you're watching me on the replay, let me know if there's a figure that you've taken down and dusted off and had some fun with this week, because that's what it's all about. It's not about everything new. Sometimes it's about appreciating what we have. So I do have some new stuff in the pipeline I'm excited about. I'll share that when I get it. All right, let's get into some Transformers 1 news along with some convention news. So Transformers 1 has concluded its box office run. And I was kind of surprised it was still playing, to be honest. I thought it had already formally concluded its run, but no, it did not. So we get this from TFW 2005. Unfortunately, Transformers 1 concluded its box office run as the lowest earning Paramount Transformers film to date. So the highest one, I believe, was it was Dark of the Moon. Dark of the Moon still is the highest one at over $1 billion, well over $1 billion. Age of Extinction did over $1 billion, but Dark of the Moon, right there, $1 billion, 123, 794, $79, whereas Transformers 1 has only earned an estimated amount of 170 domestically, and let's see, 128 worldwide. So it's the lowest earning Paramount Transformers movie to date. Now, did it lose money? That remains to be seen. Getting into it, we'll go over to Box Office Mojo, so you can see that number there, and they do the breakdown how it did. Where it gets interesting is there's this interview over on Animation Magazine, and Josh Cooley, who was the director of the movie, and I think he did a pretty good job, to be honest. He stated that it was a $147 million production budget. Now, this movie notoriously had bad marketing. They tried to get headlines by being the first trailer in space, or to premiere in space, which I think was a colossal waste of marketing budget. I was talking to Bolt Matrix. If you don't know Bolt, he's one of the OG YouTubers in the Transformer space. He's also a friend of mine. We were talking about this at TFCon, and he said that, as far as he had heard, that Paramount had outsourced all of their marketing for this. They didn't do any internal marketing. That's why the quality of the trailers wasn't really great. I just think a lot of things went wrong in this, and it's an interesting post-mortem. Going back to what it earned, worldwide, 103 worldwide and 170 domestically. Did it make up its money? Did it make enough for them to warrant more movies? I know they've been talking, and some of the people, the studio heads, have been saying, like, yeah, they want a path forward with Josh Cooley. They want to make this a trilogy. I would love that. Apparently he did really well on digital, and I'd love to see what those numbers are. And again, if you haven't seen the movie, it's up on Paramount Plus. It actually comes out on Blu-ray in, I believe, 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks? I know it's coming out on the 17th. At least that's when my Amazon pre-order comes in. So yeah, 2 weeks to the day, Transformers 1 comes in. I will be giving away the digital code that comes with my copy. So I'll put something up to give that away to anybody that is a subscriber to the channel. We'll figure out a way to get that code to one lucky viewer. It's my way of saying thanks. But yeah, I hope there's a path forward with this movie. I hope they come up with some broader numbers to say whether or not it was in the black or the red. I think it's a shame too, because you see the diminishing returns at the box office. The Bumblebee movie, it did what is it, 467 million, 989, 600. Yeah, and then Rise of the Beast came out when we were still kind of coming out of COVID. So it really sucks to see these diminishing returns, and Bumblebee, I think that was another movie that just didn't have the best marketing. Rise of the Beast, I think, had stronger marketing, but I don't think it was that great of a movie. And again, coming out of COVID, trying to get people back in theaters, it's a tough nut to crack. Hey, Wookie Be Back, good to see you in here, my friend. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this, especially given the news that came from Hasbro. So this article originated over on Bloomberg, and it's paywall, but fortunately TFW kind of got the gist of it. So Chris Cox is the Hasbro CEO, and he came out and said that Hasbro will stop co-financing movie projects. And the article, or their article, goes on to say is Mr. Cox is leading the company through a challenging transition, focusing on video games and digital entertainment to offset declining toy sales and underperforming movie ventures. Again, smaller budgets. And as far as the declining toy sales, there's so much that they can do with distribution. McFarlane is eating their lunch. Mattel is eating their lunch. They are doing something right. Learn from your competitors. I did see, and we did cover this on the show a couple weeks ago, that Transformers are, however, not in decline compared to the other brands. Transformers are actually making money. But he goes on to say the company highlights that Transformers 1 underperformed financially. We got into that under his leadership. Hasbro is investing heavily in gaming, including licensing hits like Monopoly Go, Baldur's Gate 3. Well, they kind of screwed the pooch with Larian, didn't they? Again, if you're not into the gaming content, Gronk and Gaming, we cover it all there. Despite the competitive video game market and recent project cancellations, Hasbro aims to release 1 to 2 new video games annually by 2026. I don't know that that's the best move. I do know, and we have covered it here, that the Activision games appear that they're going to get relisted. They're making merchandise for those games with Transformers Devastation, War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron. They have Transformers Rise coming out, but I'm worried about that because, well, they moved from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5, and that just seemed like a bad idea. Unreal 5, again, if you're a gamer, you probably already know Unreal 5 has some optimization issues. It doesn't scale the best with Unreal 4. They could have gotten Reactivate out on the Switch, which I think would have been big. Also, they're, most of the games that they have coming out are from that OG publisher that's just putting out shovelware. So I hope that they're looking into doing some quality games. But yeah, little skeptical there, though. What I've seen from Rise looks pretty good. Says Mr. Cox is also expanding Magic the Gathering with crossover sets featuring Lord of the Rings Marvel characters. We've seen that. They're also, I've heard, doing some Transformers one, drawing in new players while sparking fan debate. And yeah, I'm sure my buddy Lance from Forgotten Path would have a lot to say about that. They're focused on digital collectability and broader gameplay reflects its effort to adapt to shifting consumer preferences. Again, I don't know that market really wants digital stuff. I think NFTs have been a failed experiment. And then it just goes on to say Hasbro's future lies in leveraging its iconic brands through innovative play. Yeah, that their PR statement, their bullshit PR statement. Yeah, they need to fix distribution. They need to let stuff sit on the shelves longer. They need to have better media to get a younger generation interested in Transformers. I mean, Transformers 1 could have been it. There were so many background characters, so many seeds planted. They could have spun off an animated side story from it. Something, I mean, Hasbro works with Paramount. Paramount has Nickelodeon. Earthspark has been awful. Just take those characters, take things that worked. I'm sure they probably could have gotten, some side characters in there, tell some stories with Ironhide and Prowl and, Jazz, those sort of characters. It doesn't have to be up Prime and Megatron. They, could be side characters. They could have even done a series about the 13 Primes, prequel series. That could have been cool. But yeah, I'm a bit worried about the direction that Chris Cox is taking things, and we'll get into that a little bit later because there's an unprecedented figure coming out, and I'll go into detail on that and why there's precedent to it. But back when I was on Figure Action, we had some speculation about whether they'd start licensing out to other companies. Hasbro outright owns Power Rangers, not Sentai, but Power Rangers, and they're licensing all that out to Playmates. So a little tumultuous there. Catching up with chat. Wookie Be Bad says release the animated movie in theaters. They actually do. Fathom Events, I want to say like every year or so, they'll do reruns of the 86 movie in theaters. And I'm willing to bet that we'll get it next year because 2025, actually, no, we'll get it. No, we'll get it in probably 2026 because 86 is 40 years will be 2026. So they will probably do a 40th anniversary for the movie. They did one this year, not for the movie, but they did the first 3 episodes, and they actually had like a reading with the surviving cast members. So they had like Greg Berger, Dan Gilvezan, Michael Bell, Peter Cullen, Frank Welker. They were all there doing like a script reading for the first 3 episodes of the show. I wish they do more of that stuff. I honestly, it's so fun to get people into a theater, and especially older fans getting together. Lord Buffett says Starscream supremacy. You get along well with my buddy Deluxe. He's a big Starscream fan. Wookie coming back and saying, I heard War was good. Yeah, War is great. War is great, and Fall of Cybertron is legitimately a classic. So those games getting re-released hopefully soon, and hopefully not just on Xbox and PC. I would love it if those came to Switch and PlayStation. Just maximize those profits, and there's a lot of people on Nintendo and Sony platforms that would enjoy those games. I think they probably will. That seems to be how Activision operates. And he says they should let indie devs make a game and just make, take part of the profits and use it for free. And also indies would help them keep their budget under control. I know they're working with Splash Damage, and I'm hoping that Reactivate is not a live service game, because that's kind of a kiss of death in a crowded market right now. And yeah, Transformers definitely is still more promising than Star Wars for sure. Getting into a little bit of sad news. Morgan Lofting passed away at 84 years old. So this is sad. 84 is a good run. That she passed away the night before Thanksgiving last week. It's very sad. She had passed away at home. And she was ancillary characters on Transformers. She was Firestar and Moonracer. But she was best known as the voice of the Baroness in the G.I. Joe cartoons, and definitely loved her role there. The Baroness was definitely one of the standout characters in that original cartoon. So my condolences to Miss Lofting's family, and it's sad, people are getting older, but at least it was a good run. I hope it wasn't anything major, and I hope she just went peacefully. But yeah, rest in peace to Morgan Lofting. Sad news there. Moving into some happier news, we're going to do a rundown. TFCon LA is announcing all of their guests, or at least initial guests. And so far out the gate, we got some big ones. We've got Michael Bell is coming to TFCon LA. I had the pleasure of meeting him at Baltimore, and just dude's a voice acting legend, class act. I really enjoyed my conversation with him. So if you're heading out to LA, make sure to go to his table, talk with him, get an autograph. He's up there. He's 86, but the dude is so sharp. Really appreciated the time that I got to spend with him and talk with him. I got his autograph as well. So excited for all those going out to LA. Definitely take the opportunity to meet him. Very excited for the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver collection coming out next week as well. I talked to him about that as well, and I'm curious. He said that he recorded some new dialogue for that, so I'm not quite sure what it was. He couldn't disclose what it was. So if you're a fan of his or a fan of video games, check that collection out, because it's got Aspire's doing it, and they're doing the same treatment they did with the Tomb Raider trilogy, where they're doing the original graphics are there, and then you also have updated graphics, and if he's to be believed, updated sound. So very excited about that. We've got Evan Michael Lee, who was Jazz in Transformers 1. This dude's pretty in touch with the fan base as well, so he's going to be there. We've also got Andre Sogluzio, who was the voice of Sideswipe in Revenge of the Fallen. He also did Clawtrap in Robots in Disguise. I didn't get that far into Robots in Disguise, but definitely remember him from Revenge of the Fallen, one of the actually neat characters in that movie. Jeff Bennett, who's another voice acting legend. Dude's got a huge resume, but he's very well known for all the roles he did in animated, from Captain Fanzone to Prowl, Dirt Boss, Soundwave, and he's got a huge resume of voice roles. Was he also Ultra Magnus in I can't remember. It doesn't say he was. That's going to kill me. Who was the voice of animated Ultra Magnus? Because I could have sworn like a week ago I was like, oh yeah, he was Jeff. Yeah, Jeff Bennett was Ultra Magnus, and he did a fantastic Robert Stack impression. I don't know why they don't have him credited there. I'm like, that was like one of the best roles he did in animated. Just got James Horan announced. He was Wheeljack in Transformers Prime. He had a standout character in that. David Kay. David Kay is awesome. I've met him at TFCon before. I met him at Alexandria, or I guess it was Alexandria, twice. Really good dude. Fun to talk to him. And he's got a huge, impressive laundry list of voice roles outside of Transformers. Obviously, he was Beast Megatron. He was the only voice actor I'm aware of to do Prime and Megatron in separate series. He was Beast Wars Megatron. He was the Unicron trilogy Megatron. He was animated Optimus, and he came back for Transformers Prime to do the voice of Hardshell. Awesome voice. And if you play Ratchet and Clank, he's got some range because he's been the voice of Clank since the series inception. David Soblov's going to be there, another Beast Wars alumni. He's also done a lot with the Transformers movies. He was Ape Link. He was also Blitzwing in the Bumblebee movie. He was Battletrap, and he was also Shockwave in Transformers Prime. And yeah, that's going to be March 7th through the 9th for anybody that's going to be out in LA. Let's get into some toy news here, and we'll do the official stuff first. And yeah, there's some cool stuff this week. I mean, I say that every week, but I love that we're getting these old school. And when I say old school, like I've been looking at these leaks since like 1998. Like when I first discovered Bot Talk, when I first discovered BWTF, and we'd get these blurry ass leaks, the prototypes, missing parts, missing heads. And here we get a look at the Age of the Primes Voyager Armada Red Alert in his robot mode. And yeah, you don't really get too much, but this is looking good. This is looking so much better than his original Armada figure. And you've seen him here next to Prima Prime. Or is it Prima Prime? I say Prima Prime, but you get kind of an idea of how this is going to scale. It looks like he's going to be a shorter Voyager, but he's probably going to be packed full of parts. So, but definitely not as small as what we're getting with like Cannonball. So, I'm sure in the coming weeks we're going to see a head on him because Prime. We got this last week, right after Thanksgiving. Well, actually, last Friday. We got a look at the underside of a prototype with a head. But in the words of the late, but great Billy Mays, but wait, there's more. We get a more finished look. And this came from the TF Hype Guy had these pictures over on Twitter. And we get a look at and I don't know if these are going to be final colors or not, or if this is just a test shot. But there he is with the head and some more neutral colors. If these are the final colors, if that's the final deco, I don't know. It's kind of boring. So I hope there's more paint accents. Otherwise, this will be one that Patriot Prime will be shilling some toy hacks for. And in this post, he also has a clear picture of the headless Red Alert. You get a better look, seeing some of the accessories he comes with, seeing that claw that he has. And yeah, I'm hoping that he comes with the full gamut of attachments there. Then we get some interesting stuff. So Cybertron Con in China is going to be going on, I think in this month. I think it's the 20th, if I remember correctly. And this one's an oddball. So this is all rumored. This could very well be a kit bash or repaint. But it looks like they're getting a special deco for the 86 Commander class, the Studio Series 86 Commander class Prime. But what makes this odd is that it's a hybrid of Toon and Toy. So he's got the toy colored eyes. He's got the cell shaded windshield on the chest. But he's also got the toy striping on the upper biceps, and he's got the toy details and the painted vents on the legs. So kind of odd choices here. I love this mold, but I kind of wish that if they were going to do like a toy deco, they just went all in on it. There's the box, and again, it looks like this is just going to be like a slip cover over. Some people are speculating that this just might be additional stickers. Like, you get a special version that just comes with stickers that you tack on. I really don't know. I'm sure we'll know in the coming weeks when that convention hits. But yeah, interesting stuff there. Mark Clonis, who's a designer, Mark Mayer, you might know him. He does a lot of the Hasbro design events. The Hasbro YouTube events. He did a behind the scenes on Megatronus, or Megatronus the Fallen, as they're calling him here. This is part of the Age of Primes line, and this is a completed figure, which really makes me skeptical that this is how Prime is going to be, because it looks like they're putting in a little bit of a higher budget into these figures, especially since they don't have any they're all Cybertronian modes. You'd think that they'd have more paint apps and all. But yeah, he goes in and does some behind the scenes photography. Obviously, these effects parts are not included, but you get a good, clear look at the figure. And he does a great job posing. There he is next to, and I actually have this figure on my desk, the cell shaded Megatron. So you get an idea of how big that figure is going to be. So he's going to be a big boy if he's coming up to there. He's going to be a big leader, which I like. I like when the leaders are, big and chunky. But this also looks like it's going to have a pretty decent parts count on it with all the transparent pieces, with all the accessories. There's multiple paint decos going on here. And this is looking great. And I cannot wait to get these because, again, I probably will never get the original 13 Primes in Masterpiece form. So it's going to be good to have representation of them on my shelf. I'm going to have them going across the top. It's going to look awesome, I think. But yeah, liking what I'm seeing, and I'm hopeful that he's going to showcase more of the Age of Primes figures real soon. Next up, more Missing Link. We knew Sunstreaker was coming, but we got some details now on price and release. So Amazon Japan just put up a pre-order for these guys. They're coming in at, and I say these guys because out the gate, they're coming out with Corden as a repaint. And I'm guessing we'll probably also get Spin Out as well, the red deco. But yeah, Sunstreaker and Corden, they're CO5 and CO6. And they're due to come out next June. So June 2025. And the initial price is 13,200 yen, or about 88.37 out the gate. I don't know if the Amazon Japan price will fall. Typically it does, but no guarantees on that. We get some good looks at both of these figures and what they're going to be coming with. And you can see the articulated hands are continuing on there, much like the Missing Link Optimus. He's got the, you can swap out the hands. You can put in the gun arm if you want, like the toy had. There's a really good picture of alt mode there. And replicating that toy art. And he also comes with a figure they're calling the Worker, but it really appears to be Spike. It looks like a little Micro Man Spike. And it's not painted the best, but hey, I think it's cool that it comes with that. And also I like the fact that it's like old school style. It's not going to be like what they've been doing with the Masterpiece Diaclone figures that just... I love that the articulation's there, but those things do not hold well together. The Diaclone stuff, yes, but the Masterpiece ones, So I'm hopeful that this will stay together a little bit better. Then you get a comparison with the original toy, which, again, it's the whole goal here is to replicate those. And you can see he's got the big fists on there. The figure also does come with the big fists, but it doesn't look like these are going to be firing. It doesn't look like they're going to have any spring-loaded mechanisms to make anything shoot. It's going to be all pull down. And Helios, I don't think Corden actually comes with the little minifigure, unfortunately. And actually, I take that back. He does. I missed that when I was going through these initially. So yeah, I'm glad they're keeping it consistent, because when they did Skids and his repaints for the Masterpiece line, and they did 3 of them, not all of them came with the little Diaclone guys. So I'm glad that between Corden and Sunstreaker, they're both coming with them. Now the question is, it's like, well, why didn't Prime come with one? Well, I guess the toy didn't. But yeah, there we go. Accessories are the same between the two. And there's a good group shot. Now I've got B and Cliff Jumper on the way. I probably wouldn't get Corden, but definitely like the Sunstreaker a lot. So there they are again together. Yep. Kirby Velvy saying fastest switch up ever. Yeah. And again, I won't be shocked if they get Spin Out of this as well. But I hope that they just go right. Well, I say that they need to do some Decepticons, because but I would hope that they'd go right to, like, Sideswipe and the Datsuns and all that. And Sideswipe, that they're going to milk that dry with all the repaint possibilities, because they're going to do Sideswipe, Red Alert. They'll probably do Tiger Track. They'll probably do Clamp Down, so Deep Cover's another one. Next up, this is from In Demand Toys. Now, In-Demand Toys, I'm not too familiar with them, but they've apparently been a toy shop for over 20 years. And despite the fact this isn't coming out until fall of 2025, they got us a look at the box for the HasLab Omega Prime. So I do have one of these coming to me that was generously gifted to me. I cannot believe that, but that's the box. And there's some pictures of the figures looking basically done. It's gonna be a long wait for this, especially with the fact that we're getting a transforming blue bolts. I think that's pretty insane. So yeah, I cannot wait to get this again. If you saw me on Figure Action, I didn't want to back this. I didn't back this because, well, I don't think this should have been a HasLab. Fire Convoy or Robots in Disguise, Optimus Prime. The people that grew up with that show, they are probably 30 now. You can think like the show came out in 2001, and they were probably like 8, 9, 10 years old. And yeah, they were probably like in their mid to late 20s or early 30s. The people that grew up with that show, they now have disposable income. And Hasbro is griping, oh, we can't sell toys. If they had just made this a retail release, there would have been somebody saw it and like, oh my God, I had that as a kid. I need that. So I still think it's cool that it exists. And of course, hey, look, there's the Ghost. But yeah, they got the box ready. I wouldn't be shocked if they've moved some HasLabs back. Like they moved the last G.I. Joe one. They moved that back. But I wouldn't be shocked if they moved this up. So, and I think we just had this conversation the other day. We'll give you that saying, making me feel old. Yeah, I'm feeling it too. I remember exactly where I was when this show first aired, and I was in high school when this show came out. So I'm feeling it, man. Let's go back. I'm skipping ahead. There's a company called Unix Square that does a lot of mecha. And so going back to when I was talking about Hasbro and their strategy moving forward, there's a company called Flames Toys. And yeah, Super Burger, when in Figure Action, we raffled one away thanks to G Tony. And Super Burger actually won. He won the raffle for that. So he'll be getting one courtesy of G Tony when that comes in. But Unix Square, I'm not familiar with this company, but they apparently make, highly articulated mechs. And going back, Hasbro had this policy, like think companies like Flames Toys, right? So Flames Toys, when they came out with their Star Saber and they came out with the Victory Leo, it was like a big to-do to even have a partial transformation. Well, now we know that Flames Toys is working with Takara Tomy, and they're going to be putting out that line of IDW figures, starting out with that Hot Rod that's coming out, or Rodimus. And this is yet another company getting added to the list. So Unix Square does these combat figures. And let's go over to their Facebook page so you can see a little bit of what they do. Let's go to Unix Square here. So there's some details about this, but again, I was not familiar with them. They've got a Starscream or a Seeker mold that they're working on now. I don't know for sure if that transforms, but they do a bit with Robotech. They've got the Robotech license, and I'm not familiar with this, whatever that B is, but a lot of Robotech stuff on here. But this one's interesting because they showed pictures of this Optimus Prime, and a lot of companies are making hyper-articulated Optimus Prime figures. And they go on to say that first, it says, Unix Square presents to you another new series on Transformers called Combat. First item will be an Optimus Prime under the Combat series. Optimus Prime can be, and they don't say transformed, but they say reformed from robot mode to truck mode. So I don't know if this is parts forming or not when they say that there. In addition to mode changing, it's fully painted superposable action figure, over 50 articulation points. The size of the Optimus Prime is around 19 centimeters tall. It goes on to say material includes die cast for sturdiness and heaviness, LEDs, and in the eyes and the matrix. So this is already up for pre-order as well. And so yeah, it's going to be about 7.5 inches tall. It's coming in at $139 though. But let's look at their pictures here. They have a big gallery here, kind of like a sizzle reel showing it off. Not the best looking truck mode. And yeah, I do agree. This does kind of look like, it does give me Reveltech vibes. It also kind of reminds me of Flames Toys' first model kit that they did for Optimus. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not, but that like stylized Optimus. You know, it kind of gives me those vibes. Let me see if I can pull that up. Actually, it just in general, it looks like the Flames Toys Optimus. But yeah, let me pull this guy up here. There you go. Not as stylized, but like definitely those big hip skirts. So I'd be curious again what they mean by reformed. I like how this looks. I like how this looks a lot, but I think for the size and the you know, the fact that it may not transform. You know, it's got LEDs, and I like the sculpt, but I kind of need to see more. But, you know, I've got so many primes in my collection that it's like, do I need another? Especially, like, again, here, too, if I don't know if you put it together, if they're just showing it, you know, the parts, but I'm feeling like it's just going to be like a, you know, a pop apart and put it back together. It also makes me wonder if they're letting companies do this, how long before YOLO Park does their own? And YOLO Park puts out really, really high quality Transformers products at like cheap prices, like cheap pre-recession. How is this possible pricing for YOLO Park? That toy guy, he's got a review of the Age of Extinction Last Night Optimus that YOLO Park sent to him. And I know Wookie Be Bad pre-ordered one, and that thing came in at like $56, and it's everywhere near as detailed as something that 3.0 would put out. So for $139, yeah, there's diecast in this, but if it's, you know, if this is what you're getting for that price, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see some reviews here. Yeah, and Kirby, you're right. Blockies, if Blockies is able to do this. Like if Hasbro like says, hey, yeah, you can do that sort of transformation, like they're cooked, because Blockies is doing really cool stuff with you know their kits where they're doing alt mode ones, and they're also doing robot modes. And so I have one. I did pick up one Blockies at TFCon, and you know this kit was $14. Kind of hard to see when I'm minimized, but LEDs in this, like the chest and the eyes light up. And I mean, this is $14, and it's half the size, and it's got a big parts count too. So if Blockies or YOLO Park can get this going on, I don't know that there's really a big market for this, to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what they do. And lastly, this comes from Killer Body. Now, Killer Body had been previously making a lot of movie helmets, and really cool movie helmets. This is their G1 Optimus helmet. And if you've never seen a Killer Body helmet, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more here. These things are like super top tier premium. They have light up eyes that you can see through. They tend to have voice clips. They have voice modulators. They have a lot of features, a lot of details. This Prime helmet, you can take all of the paneling and the face mask off, or battle mask, I guess is what it is now. This is officially licensed as well. I would assume, looking at the sculpting, that they'll probably make the bottom lip move, and that bottom lip will probably move the battle mask up. You can see there's their Rise of the Beast one. And then, yeah, you get their Megatron one there as well. I know a lot of people hate the guy, but Prime versus Prime has these, and he's one of the few people that's done reviews on them. But these things are insane. They're absolutely insane. It looks like there's red LEDs in the upper head crest. I wish they showed the inside, but Yeah, these things are stupidly, and I mean stupidly expensive. Let me tell you what the Rise of the Beast one. Yeah, so the Rise of the Beast one is upwards of like $400. Oh, let's pull that one over so y'all can see it. But yeah, these are kind of like the hot toys of helmets, and they come with display bases and everything. They are voice controlled. Like the Bumblebee one is actually one of the coolest things. So Kirby, Prime versus I don't mind Prime versus Prime, but a lot of people accuse him of stealing samples. That's how he gets his figures early. I think it's potentially debatable because Chefitron buys his Chef. So Chefitron's out in the Philippines, and he has legitimate places to buy them, like namely the Toys R Us's that still exist out there. But I just know he gets a lot of hate from the community. Yeah, you can see like the little earpieces move. So it's more than just a helmet. They pack a lot of electronics and features. The Bumblebee one is nuts. Let's just do a search on their site for it, see if they have a video. Because the Bumblebee one is absolutely sick because the battle mask, it like auto converts. Like the battle mask actually, there you go. Yeah, see, if you see there, the top of it actually opens up and the battle mask actually flips out and the LEDs and the eyes change. It's absolutely nuts. And it's all voice controlled. There's a lot of tech packed into this. So yeah, you can see there's a little gif of it there, of it in action. So yeah, definitely cool to see them tackling G1. For me, no. I have the Modern Icons one. That's enough helmet for me. If I had unlimited space and unlimited funds, yeah, I'd be all in them. They also do the Iron Man stuff, but yeah, cool stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing somebody get it and living vicariously through their review. Well, I guess we'll end this evening's show on our third party news, because we got just a handful of things to look at this week. For starters, let me go ahead and get this pulled up. Yeah, I got that up there now. So for starters, we get a new release from Dr. Wu, or as Botbender Orange and my boy Deluxe call it, Dr. Woo Woo Woo. Yeah, the Giant Claw. This is their super deformed Black Zerak and Scorponok. So what's cool about these is, yes, they are SD figures, but if you're familiar with Beast Box, I do have one Beast Box figure. I have their Alien. They turn into little cubes and they go into a box and then they can transform. Well, this takes that concept to the nth level, because you're getting a figure that can turn into a cube, but it also turns into the robot. It is a functional headmaster, and it also comes with his little buddy. Good Lord, I forget. I always forget the name of this guy. But yeah, he does his Scorpion mode. He gets his base mode. I know. I hate blanking when I'm live. But yeah, it does a lot. It even comes with his rifle, so you get all the accessories. And then, of course, they do the Zarek repaint. So really cool stuff. And these things typically are pretty cheap, too. These typically come in around like $30-$40. This is 10 centimeters tall. So it's actually, for, a little small guy, it's about 4 inches tall. But, still, they're nice, neat, little chunky figures that are durable, fun little desk spots. And, since they're also doing the Triptychon and I believe Metroplex and Fort Max, you can have like a little tiny collection of city bots. Next up, we get a look at Kang Toys Longyan, which is their take on a hyper stylized swoop. And I think this is probably going to end up as a hyper stylized Dino King by the end of it. But yeah, Kang Toys came out with their out the gate with their Predaking, which is very stylized. It's kind of like if like the Bayverse had a better aesthetic. But yeah, this looks neat, and I'm sure it's going to look great on a display. But my issue with the Kang Toy stuff is it's just too stylized for my collection. I love the homages here. I'm sure they'll come out with a blue version as well. And again, this is just like one of those unlimited funds, unlimited space sort of things I'd potentially would be in. Love the pterodactyl mode, but you know, again, this is just another one where I live vicariously. I didn't see the combined at TFCon, but I did see some of the individuals. They're really impressive in person. Well, TF Hustle, you got a couple on pre-order? Are you going all in on the Kang Volcanicus? And the R mode looking actually pretty awesome too. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how this shapes out. And I will not be shocked if they don't do a repurpose, repaint in the Dino King. And yeah, the Devastator, the Superior and the Devastator, they look really good for stylized. I imagine like somebody having like just a shelf of all these hyper stylized combiners. It's gonna look really good. The Stunning Brave, yeah, I'm the same way. I think we kind of have similar collecting tastes with like trying to get those perfect G1 tune displays. I mean, that's the thing for me is like I have my Fans Toys dinos, and I'm really happy with those. But yeah, this does look good. I'm not dissing it. I think it looks good. I like the stylized look of it, but I also recognize it's not for me and my tastes. Moving on, we get a figure that I think is a little too late. This is the KFC Raijin. I know some people are starting to get this in, so we get a look at it and some comparisons. So if you don't know, this is KFC, Keith's Fantasy Club, X-Transbots, their take on a Ginrai or Power Master Prime. They released the trailer like a year ago, and now they're finally putting out their core Ginrai just ahead of Takara Tomy. So Takara Tomy is going to have theirs out in January. That's what I'm going with. This doesn't look bad. If this had come out like a year or two ago, I would have been all over it. I think had they just, instead of competing with Fans Toys, just said, hey, yeah, we're gonna do something. We're just gonna put out something that nobody else is doing. I think they would have been in a better space. I mean, this looks good. The only thing I'm iffy about is the hip skirts, and I also think this guy's too big. So I guess he's coming in at like 26 centimeters there. So that puts him in about what, like 10, a little over 10 inches. Posability looks really good. But again, it's a simple bot mode. They put a matrix in him. There he is with the Grand Raijin trailer that came out last year, which is interesting. In this picture, the finish looks a little different. But yeah, there he is compared with his G1 counterpart, as well as the Perfect Effect one. The Perfect Effect one's pretty good. I never got it for the power. I never got that mold for the Legacy, or not Legacy, the Generations Power Master Prime, but I got it with the I got that one that came with the jet armor, which was a repurposed use of that mold. And there he is compared to MP44, which again I think he's too big. And I think that is the Lucky Cat Prime that just came out, if I'm not mistaken, which is more of like a 3-0 scale. I do like how their Haikyuu is. I like how, or I guess Haikyuu or Ginrai proper. I like how they painted him up. But I just think this is a little too late. I think. Yeah, I think it looks good. I see this going on clearance. Like, if you don't want to shell out for the Takara one, like as soon as the Takara one hits, I guarantee retailers are going to have this discounted. I know several of the e-tailers had the trailer heavily discounted on Black Friday, and the TF source had it like something like $80 off. So I think they're kind of preparing. But if you're going to get this, if you like this and you want him to be larger than MP44 for whatever reason, I think they should be about the same size. Power to you. I did see the trailer at TFCon. It looks nice in person. I know there are some people that are they're preferring this because they like the feet better, but for me, it's the Takara all day. Let's catch up with chat before we get the last one. And Sunny Brave Megatron says, I got the Magic Square Swindle the other day. That's a great figure. The only gripe I have with that is that I wish that the hip skirts would ratchet back into place more smoothly. Parts Former, a buddy of mine, he put shock oil on his, and when we met up last weekend, it was actually a pretty decent improvement. I need to do that to mine. All right, we're going to round off the evening with an exciting one. So this is over on the Weibo site for DX9, and this was a figure that we saw prototyped late last year or maybe really early this year. And this is DX9's Red Storm, which is their take on an updated Masterpiece Sideswipe. And man, oh man, is this looking good. This is looking really good. I can't tell for sure, but it looks like they're either going to have a faction symbol rotate out or the chest is going to expand. This back cleans up super nice. I am digging these proportions quite a bit. And the Countach Lamborghini mode just looking very clean, very well done. I like DX9 a lot. I think they are an underrated company. I think that what they've done with the Bayverse stuff has been like them. I mean, they're unique toys. Like, you know how Fans Toys has Robot Paradise and all that now. Wonderful, whatever they're calling the new one. Perfect Fusion. DX9 and Unique Toys are one and the same, and they've worked hand in hand. What they've done with the Bayverse figures has been just amazing, and I love seeing them come back. And I'm curious if there's some crossover with the designers, because none of this looks like the black magic they put into getting those Bayverse figures to transform smoothly. But this just looks this looks like an official product, save for the hands. Like the hands look a little bit, they don't look in keeping with like the Karatomi hands. But this just looks super tune accurate, super posable. I love the proportions. Bad Cube did an updated Sideswipe and Red Alert years back, and they didn't do it for me. But this is ticking the boxes. Like even the legs are filled in. This just looks really, really good, and this looks like it's ready to go. So I'm really curious to see when this gets solicited, because I think this would be one that I'd be willing, if the price is right, to replace my Sideswipe in my collection, because this just, especially that shot with him and Suntrigger, like they look so good together. So yeah. Superburger saying, check out what Kang announced earlier today. They announced a new Superion Devastator Insecticons, all in MP Chugs and Legends. Oh, I guess Insecticons. I'd like to see Kang do stuff outside of the combiners for sure. But yeah, and I know them doing chug scales is very interesting. I'll have to see that. Sting Brave saying, I'm considering swapping out my MMC Drift to the new one coming out. Yeah, that new one, that I saw that in person at TFCon, the black and white deco one. I really like that. I talked to Pig for Life about that, and I got to be like inches from it. And he couldn't spill the beans at the time. He's like, I like this way more than the alternate deco. I don't like the red deco one. I like that early one. But yeah, that one looks really good. Let's see if I can find the Kang Insecticons before we wrap up. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Those look interesting. I guess right off the bat, I guess that's going to be Bombshell. I guess that's Kickback and Shrapnel. Ooh. That's interesting. Huh. I know I've seen the Devastator, and yeah, they Superburger saying the DX9 side switch speculated to be around $7. Yeah, they don't break the bank with their stuff. And I'm glad to see companies coming out like, that's the great thing about Magic Square, right? Magic Square doing this stuff in Masterpiece scale. They're really putting out a high quality product. I mean, you look at like what you get with Fans Toys and how they're doing the combiner parts and the prices of the figure. And yeah, they put a lot of die cast into them, but you don't really need it. Meanwhile, you have Magic Square coming out with their stuff for $100 a pop, and it comes with all the combiner parts out the gate. So, yeah, definitely some good stuff coming out, and competition's good. We need competition in these spaces. Like Fans Toys has definitely been doing some price fixing, and I've got insider info on that. I used to talk regularly with the guy that ran a Fans Toys group, Hung to Go. He was interviewed by Bobby Skullface, met him in person before he handed it over to Nick the Toy Guy, and I know what their margins are. And Fans Toys is just they're getting every last drop out of the collectors, and it sucks. It really sucks. I think New Age is doing some price fixing too, but don't have anything firm on that. But I know definitely Fans Toys is, and their margins are kind of whack compared to other companies. That's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode. We're about at that hour mark, a little bit past. So I want to thank everybody who hopped in this evening to hang out with me. Again, a couple weeks, I'll be giving away a Transformers 1 code. I've got a potential giveaway on the channel, but the company I ordered it from, they have been slacking. I ordered a figure back in August. It's an SDCC exclusive. That's all I'll say about it. And they told me it was supposed to ship November 5th. And here we are almost a month later, and I don't have it. So if not that, I'll figure out something else to ring in the new year. But yeah, if you did join me late, go ahead and check out my link tree. I've got I didn't get anything new on the channel, but I did do a pretty substantial edit for my good buddy Mr. Mazza over on his channel. It is a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies video. We took some of the funniest moments from his 5-hour stream and condensed it into a 20-minute episode with I think we put in 13 segments in that. So a lot of fun over there. Also, if you're into gaming, I do occasionally pop into the Gronking Gaming podcast with Lethal Lightning, Mazza, Cream NATO, John Connors, and sometimes Nasmer. So I will probably be on there this coming Sunday, which is the Australian Monday. And we've got the Gronkies coming up, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I do have stuff in the pipeline. Again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but doing the stuff for Mazza, I got behind on my own edits, so I may randomly just put stuff up. I don't have an upload schedule here, but I am going to do a collection tour. So I just want to get some content up on the channel and just I've had my collection featured on TM Reviews channel. I've had it featured on T-Man's channel. I think it's time to feature my own collection on my channel. So I'll be getting that up before the end of the year as well. So if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed. If I've earned your subscription, hit that notification bell. And if you haven't already, smash that like button on your way out. And appreciate everybody tuning in. I will see you all this time next Tuesday. And actually, wait, no, I won't. My boss is retiring. So I'll put a community note up there. I'll probably go live on Monday instead of Tuesday, but my boss's retirement party is Tuesday. So no, unfortunately, I'll be at a retirement dinner, but I still will have a show next week. It'll just probably be a day early. So until next time, I will see you next week, Monday, 9 o'clock. And I hope everybody has a great rest of the week ahead. Peace out. Bye-bye, and have a good one.